If you're on Twitter, which I'm sure many of you are, you probably always see people complaining about the meta and their teammates in ranked. But personally, I think complaining about teammates is just a complete waste of time and you're better off just not. It's bad for several reasons. The main one is that, unfortunately, no matter how much you complain and moan about it, it won't get better. You can't control it. I hate to break it to you, but bitching about teammates is not going to make the problem go away. This game's ranking system isn't great, but that's not a problem that any of us can fix except Nintendo, and it looks like they won't be. And yes, I know the majority of this is the matchmaking system's fault, not yours. Like, obviously, you can't control when you get put with 1400 XP teammates. But even then, complaining that you're with 1400 XP teammates is not going to make you play any better. You have to deal with it. I'm sorry, it is what it is. X rank is not hard to get into anymore, and that's kind of a lot of the problems with it. It used to be a higher level thing in Splatoon 2. It took a lot of dedication to get there, but now it's pretty simple, and even me can get there in about 20 hours with the worst weapon in the game. There's this great chart made by Jem from Squid School, which I'm going to show now, which is pretty much exactly what I mean by this. There's no point complaining over things you can't control. You gotta keep it to what you can control, because that's the only way you're gonna see yourself improving. I understand that teammates are gonna make major blunders and possibly sell entire matches for you, but there's nothing you can do about that as the player. You just have to sit back and watch, because no one is gonna help you with this. I'm sorry. Another really important reason why you don't blame teammates is it just builds tilt overall. Like, it's never good to be tilted when playing Splatoon, ever. It'll make you play worse, it'll make you make more mistakes, you won't recognize the mistakes you're making, it's just not a good idea. Like, if you are running into a scenario and you see your teammate die, like, immediately, you're gonna go, oh my god, I can't believe he died, and then because you got mad at that, you're probably gonna die yourself. You really need to focus on yourself and just get over what happened, because unfortunately, like I said earlier, you can't change it. It is what it is. There's also the factor of attitude. Like, for example, imagine, in a competitive setting, obviously, you can never, ever cuss someone out like you would when you're playing in solo queue. It just doesn't work. You sound like a terrible person, a terrible teammate, a terrible friend. It's just not something you do to people. So it's not a good idea to go into solo queue and then start cussing people out in there, and then when you play as a team, to keep everything in your head. The ideal scenario is to go into solo queue, not worry about teammates, maybe analyze what mistakes they're making, but don't worry about it, because you in solo queue can't critique that. When you're in a team environment and looking at your team's mistakes, you can actually tell them, hey, I noticed you rushed in too early here, maybe wait before you go in next time, or wait until we all pop special, or something like that. You can't make fun of teammates in a team environment, so why do you do it in solo queue? And I know why. It's because of that sweet, sweet X power. That lovely 4-digit number that many people seem to get way too fixated on. Look, I know people regard X power as being a pretty good measurement of skill, but I know people in 1900 XP who are playing at Div 7 levels, and then you have me at 2300 XP who is playing at a Div 9 level. XP is not everything. When it comes down to team coordination in Splatoon, it's much more important than your mechanical skill in a competitive environment. I strongly recommend you working on that over your mechanics once you've gotten to around 2200 X power, because from there, you can reach around Div 6 at 2300 X power. And from there, once you have a good team environment, you can do scrims together and build your practice that way. What I'm saying here is teammates are trying to help you, and they're not always going to, but you can't hold that against them because they're human and you're human. You are not going to play every game perfectly, and they are not going to play every game perfectly. I'm sure you have blundered a few times in a match before, but the thing is, when you complain about teammates blundering, you blunder yourself. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have, and you won't realize it at the time maybe, but then the people behind you are going, oh my god, this guy's such an idiot. It's the same for ranked. Your teammates may not realize they're making a mistake, but unfortunately, there's no communication, and there's no way to tell them they made a mistake. It is what it is. I know this sounds like a stupid rant, but I kind of want to just say this. It's a waste of energy. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time. You're wasting mental capacity complaining about things you can't control. I just wanted to kind of make this video as a little mindset tip. I don't play competitive anymore, but I've just been seeing so much teammate blaming recently, and I kind of just want to say this. I'm sorry.